Neither me, M26, nor my mother, F64, can take care of my nephew, M3, and my sister, F36, is blaming us. You see, my sister is a doctor. She got a new job about a month ago far from the capital city. We live in Honduras, and she claims that she can't take my nephew with her and her husband, 37M. So she wants me and my mother to take care of him. I got COVID-19 in August and barely made it alive. I still have damage to my lungs and can't walk long distances. My mother has osteoporosis and she can't lift heavy things, nor she has the patience to take care of a 3-year child. The children's father is a man who doesn't like to work. He never finished college and is only interested in my sister because of her money. She doesn't know this. He doesn't take care of the child like a father should. We told her we cannot take care of him because of our health issues. And now she sees us as enemies and telling my nephew lies about us. I'm really heartbroken since I love my nephew and I don't know what to do. TLDR, my sister is angry at me and my mother because we can't take care of her child. Her husband is a couch potato and a terrible father. We told her no and now it has affected my relationship with her. Your sister is mad at you because you are unable to parent their child that she and her husband are unwilling to parent. Let that sink in. She is mad at you because you refuse, not even refuse. You are physically incapable to release her and her husband from their responsibility. This is not your problem. Don't allow your sister to make it your problem. Tell her to take care of her own damn kid. Problem solved. Let her be mad. This is entirely her problem. Please talk to her about her deadbeat husband. Sometimes people knows this but need someone to tell them that. Please give her a reality check. Speechless face. What kind of parent even does this? It's her child. If her husband isn't doing anything, why doesn't he just fill the role of a stay-at-home dad? Pop and mom should not feel bad. You aren't doing anything wrong. Parents are responsible for their children. Period. It's ridiculous that someone should have to point that out. Was she even planning to pay you and or your mum? Not that it matters if you can't physically do it. Do I 22F tell this girl her boyfriend, 22M, has been paying me for nudes and trying to go on dates with me for 2 years? I met Jackson, fake name, early on in high school and we always had a flirty relationship and have hooked up a few times and actually gone on a few dates. In college Jackson started paying me to send nudes to him. I am broke and a student, so it was an easy $50 to $100. He also continued to tell me how much he wants to date me and inviting me over late at night and calling me. About a year ago he gets a girlfriend, 21-22F. Sadly I didn't stop sending the nudes for Monday, but we have never met up. I have confronted him about how it's unfair to her, especially because he still asks me on dates and tells me how much he likes me and invites me over late at night and calls me. I am only doing this for money. I have zero emotional attachment to this man. But I am started to feel so sorry for his girlfriend because she's with such a sleazy cheater. I'm just not sure how I would tell her. I also don't want anyone to find out that he paid me for nudes, which is a large part as to why I haven't told her. Edit, the clarify, I have not seen him in person since he got a girlfriend. I have also stopped sending nudes or anything. If I were her I'd just want to know. Too long didn't read. Been selling nudes to someone who is emotionally invested in me despite having a girlfriend. Should I tell his girlfriend? If your boyfriend was paying for some other girl's nude and is also trying to go on dates with that girl, would you rather know or let it be? Being the girl I am, I would without hesitation, but you also need to stop enabling the behavior. I agree with the other comment saying to be safe and be aware of revenge porn, but I also feel the need to point out that if the shoe were on the other foot, you'd want to know. Don't even need to read past the title. The answer is always yes. If you feel bad about it, stop. You aren't going to be able to tell her without it coming out. So you're gonna have to compromise something if you tell her or if you don't. I'd be worried about revenge porn honestly. What if he gets mad that you told her and posts your nudes everywhere? Maybe if you can figure out another way to tell her anonymously, but you have to think of your safety too. Any tips or advice about moving in with a significant other for the first time? I, 21F am moving in with my BF, 25M in 9 days. This is temporary, 4 months, but much longer than we've spent together consecutively. I basically view this as a test run for living together more permanently in the future. We have had a bit of a long distance relationship, although not to the extent of many LDR couples. There's only a 3.5-hour drive between us, but due to my college and his work, we only were seeing each other once every few weeks/months, pre-COVID. Now it's been much longer. My undergrad classes usually aren't offered online, but they are this upcoming semester. I'm taking this opportunity to spend the semester at my BF's house. He owns his house, so it's not like we're leasing an apartment together or anything. Like I said, it's just a temporary arrangement. Then we go back to /1 year of LDR before closing the distance for good. Anyways, we've spent nights together, but not nearly as long as 4 months. 6 days is probably the most time we've been able to stay together. I have stayed at his house before. I love the area he lives in BTW. I've previously met all his immediate family and a handful of his friends, all of whom are very nice. So while I won't be able to go out to meet new people, at least I know a few people within the town. I feel perfectly safe and comfortable with this move, but I do have family I can stay with instead if anything goes wrong. I don't have any reason to believe such a thing would happen, but I figure that a backup plan is good. We have talked about money stuff and also general daily schedule stuff, which is pretty straightforward, given he has a standard work week schedule, so I will be able to work on my classes while he's gone. I am curious to know what other conversations we should have before I arrive. Additionally, what should I know about living with a partner? Oh, and I have all female siblings and even my dad is gone about half the year for work-related travels, so I've never really had a guy in the house growing up. Therefore, I could also ask what should I know about living with a guy, lol. Finally, any additional tips and tricks or advice for moving in with and so? Thank you. Too long didn't read. Moving in with my boyfriend soon. Nervous as I've never lived with and so nor with a guy before. Looking to gain as much advice, insight, and wisdom as possible to prep for this situation. One of the things my partner and I established immediately upon moving in together, LDR for 5 years, moved in together, have now lived together for 5 years, is to never stop saying thank you. The general rule is that I do all the cooking, he does all the washing up. 5 years later, we still say thank you to one another for these tasks, even though it is expected. We say thank you to each other for basically everything all the time, and it means I've never felt underappreciated. Everything in our relationship is treated as a kindness and an expression of love, not an obligation. Also, if you're sexually active together, it is quite possible you'll start having less sex. When you're LDR, in my experience, every time you see each other was sexy time. But once you're living together, there's never that we better use this sex window feeling, and as such it is quite easy for that aspect to slip a bit. Be prepared to have an open dialogue about it. You will get to know him a lot better. There will be things about him you cannot stand. You will most likely fight over chores at some point. And all of that is completely normal. Maybe try to start a conversation about housework and how much alone time each of you might need. Will there be enough space for all the things you want to take with you? I don't mean to sound negative or discouraging, but I think talking about these things early on can save you a lot of drama down the road. Best wishes. This is a great test on will help you both to get to know each other much better. I can recommend making sure tasks are distributed fairly from the beginning on. Pampering in the honeymoon phase leads to future conflict in my experience. Get expectations on what a clean bathroom is, who cooks/does the dishes, takes out the trash, does the shopping, fills the gas, pays the joint bills, etc. clear from the beginning on and stick to it. These things are so hard to change later on. Yeah, I've come to realize that I definitely need to talk to him about this. On top of your points, everyone has their own little systems and I don't want to mess anything up on him if I'm cleaning while he's at work. I mean, If he came into my current bedroom right now and started cleaning, I'm sure not everything would be put where I'd put it. I'm especially wary of touching paperwork, because that's the worst to reorganize if someone puts it together wrong. I will ask him what things or areas I should leave alone, i.e., probably his desk space. Is his house big enough that either of you can be alone if you need? Depending on how much alone time each of you need, having your own personal space for decompressing or whatever is really important, especially now with COVID raging and so many things closed, so less reasons to get out of the house. You sound like you're approaching this in a very responsible way, so great job. I hope it works for you too. Communicate. It's not easy sharing living space with another person, and you may be tempted to not mention the little things that are bugging you, especially on the first day or in the first week. But the quicker you address any little irritations, the better the experience will be. I hope it goes really well for you both. Smile.
Untitled. Chapter.